choir is wonderful. You guys do great. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Yes, my name is Renee Swanson, and I'm the marketing coordinator for Hope Harbor, and I'm very grateful that I get to talk to you this morning. How many of you, by show of hands, have heard of Hope Harbor or visited? Very good. Do you know that we're a women and family shelter? We even take in single men if they have children as well. But yes, we are a shelter, a 104-bed facility. And we're very busy, let me tell you. And it's really busy in the summertime, but seems to be pretty steady here lately. We started in the 1990s by the Grand Island Ministerial Association. Don't know if you knew that. A little bit of history on us anyway. And in 1994, we were incorporated as the Central Humanitarian Resource Center. That's a mouthful. Offering gas vouchers and motel vouchers, and we also had referral services. So we were pretty limited back then. Our first homeless shelter actually sprang from a single-family home on 10th Street, and where we stayed there until we purchased the former Catholic convent. I'm sure you know where that is, across from St. Mary's, and that's on West Division. The convent from St. Mary's, it really suits our needs perfectly. It's a great location, and we were able to purchase the old Countryman building right on 1st Street as our service center. In 2007 and in 2008, after a successful campaign, we completed a major renovation which included fire sprinkler systems, renovated the kitchen, which is beautiful, by the way, plumbing, new heating and air, and much, much more. We recently changed our mission statement, and it's on our website if you happen to go there. Our new mission statement is Help and Hope for a Life of Self-Sufficiency. And isn't that the truth? We have a staff, an amazing staff of 13 people. We have 3 case managers. They're basically the social workers, and we have 2 service coordinators, one that's at the service center where I'm housed, and she's the one who helps with the emergency assistant. I'm sure you've heard her name, Peaches Mason. She was at the game yesterday. We like to say she brought good luck, too. Anyway, we have amazing staff. Liz Mayfield is our executive director, and what a great leader she is, and sets the example for all of us. But let's get back onto what Hope Harbor does. First things first, we have emergency shelter, and that is on the east side of the old convent, now our shelter. We have 26 beds. A lot of them are bunk beds, but we have some family units. And I was telling some ladies this morning while we were having coffee, thank you, by the way, we have family rooms so they can open a door. We had a family come a little bit over a month ago. It was a mother and father and their 7 children. That was a lot, but we took them in, and we were able to keep them warm overnight, and then they were able to get their own place pretty quickly. But how the emergency shelter works is the doors open on the east side at 7 p.m. Anyone can come, except if you're a single male. You still have to go to the Salvation Army. But if you're a single male and you have a child, you are welcome, okay? Women, families come. 7 o'clock they check in. They can come in, get a room, take a shower, have a snack, and go to bed. But they do have to leave at 8 o'clock in the morning. Some people think that's pretty harsh, especially with the weather. But they have the option of coming over to the service center in the morning and talking to Peaches Mason, our service coordinator, and getting on the list for transitional shelter. Now, that's the other side of the shelter. If you've ever had a tour or been in our shelter, the emergency shelter is on the east side, transitional shelter is on the west side. And we actually have 78 beds over there. Right now, we're pretty much at full capacity. So, I mean, people come and go, as you see, but we are very full. And when the people go over to transitional shelter, they don't have to leave during the day, but they are assigned a case manager, and they have to go through our programs that we have. We're pretty strict on that. They have to finish parenting classes. They have to finish Financial Peace by Dave Ramsey. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but it's a great program to teach our people how to budget and save their money. They take nutrition classes, employability, help them find a job, and we're also helping them to find an apartment or a house. So they can live in the transitional side for up to 9 months free of charge. Your meals are paid. You don't pay utilities. You're working with a case manager who is helping you to save your money. And we help anybody that comes in there if they qualify. However, we're pretty strict if they're doing anything illegal, like drugs. So we do check on that, and we keep that pretty tight. And let me tell you, those case managers are on them. And we're grateful for that, to help keep people on the straight and narrow, you know. I have some I love success stories. And I love testimonials. We don't have anybody here today, but I can give you a couple examples. I like to call her my friend, because I think that everybody that comes in, I make friends with them. And I like to watch them go from being, just coming in off the streets, they had addiction, they had trouble with the law. And I get to know them little by little. I like to sit down and talk to them, have a cup of coffee, and find out what led them to Hope Harbor. Well, Teresa came to us after an issue with drugs and alcohol, and she had lost her children. So she had pretty much hit rock bottom. And I got to know her over the course of about 4 months. She had been there before I started at Hope Harbor in April. But she was always squinting. And I didn't know why. I didn't even think to ask. I just, some people could squint. And then I found out that after all the hard work that she was doing to become clean, she was working full-time at Wendy's, she was saving her money, and she came in one day and she had a pair of glasses on. And I'm like, hey, I didn't know you needed spectacles. I have worn mine since I was 2 years old, and I was joking with her, and she goes, yeah, I haven't had glasses for 5 years, and Hope Harbor helped me get them. And I almost started crying because she hadn't been able to see. And that's just warms my heart. And so it just makes me want to dig further. I don't want to dig too much because, some people want to keep what's happened to them to themselves, but it is important to get to know what's going on in somebody's life because everybody has a story. All of our people have a story. And this last Friday, Teresa had saved up enough money. She got her own place. She got her own place, and she got her kids back. That's a lot. And so we celebrate these moments at Hope Harbor, and we're so happy for them, and we want them to know it. So I took her picture and I put it on Facebook. She was so happy. But another gal did too, Haley. She was able to get her own place and have her kids together, and we also have furniture people donate at Hope Harbor. I didn't know if you knew that as well. I'll talk about general services here in just a moment, but we were helping them load up mattresses and dressers. We always need dressers and lamps, and we had, she needed everything. Plates, pots and pans, silverware, you name it. And then we had to help her with, soap and shampoo so she could load up and dish soap and all that. It felt so good. It felt like that mattress didn't weigh anything, loading it up in the back of the pickup that they'd rounded up to get her moved into her place. We were so happy for her. Same thing with Haley. Now, the other story I have, it kind of makes me sad because this lady came from Somalia, and she had 6 kids with her. And these kids were awesome. They were so much fun. They always liked to come and hang out with me. We'd go to Happy Brush once a month and paint some pretty stuff up, and they were always having a good time, and they liked to be teased, and sometimes I'd spoil them with a lollipop or a sucker, but that was my job, and I'm not a grandma yet, so hey. Anyway, but Rebecca came from Somalia, and she'd been assaulted sexually over and over and over. And she came here to escape. And then things happened in her life. The men that she had been with let her down, or they had also assaulted her physically, too. She left, but she also became addicted. She was trying to escape the horrors that she'd been in throughout her life, not only in her home country, but it happened here too. So she had hit rock bottom, was about to lose her kids, and actually DCS was pretty much on her. They were going to get her. So she came to Hope Harbor, and our case managers worked with her. They worked and worked and worked, and she was able to keep her children. She did find a full-time job, and one day I was going to have her, she'd given a testimonial for me with the United Way and told her story, and I just had goosebumps when she was done talking about it. I can't even tell you what all she said, but it was pretty hard, and I was crying. What a big baby. But she really affected me. And then one day, this is the part that's hard when you work at Hope Harbor. They went to go find her, take her to get her kids to school, and she disappeared. Her kids and she had left in the middle of the night, and we still don't know where she is. So that kind of goes with my job. Even though I'm the marketing coordinator, I still care about those people. I'm not a case manager, but I like to get to know them all. And I think that we all should think about that when we see somebody out on the street, what do you picture as homelessness? That guy sitting at Walmart with the sign up? That's not homelessness. Homelessness is everything that's involved. Somebody that just hit hard times, or they had medical bills. We have a lady living with us right now who had a bad accident, a head injury, and she was working full-time. She still does at Walmart. She had such bad medical bills she couldn't keep up, so they started garnishing her wages. $1,500 a month. I don't know about you, but that's a pretty hard hit for anybody's, paycheck. She ended up not being able to pay her rent. She was evicted, and she ended up at Hope Harbor, and we were glad to take her in, and she was happy to come and help us. In fact, she's another person that gives great testimonials. She says, do I look like a homeless person? Because she doesn't. How do you picture homeless people? Well, anyway, she's doing great now, saving her money, and she's making goals to get the medical bills paid off, hopefully in 9 months' time, because that's the kind of the limit that people can stay at Hope Harbor is up to 9 months. Now, really quick, I want to talk about our general assistance, and anybody's available for this as well. You can walk in off the street. People that have food stamps or our senior citizens that just don't have enough, they can come in and receive food pantry. We have it there. People donate food not only for the shelter but for our emergency assistance, and boy, is it needed. It's every day we have people coming in, and I'm so grateful that we're able to provide that service for people, and they can obtain that every 3 months. They talk to Peaches Mason. They also offer gas vouchers. People can come in, hey, I've got to get to this job, and we want to help people to not become homeless to get that job, right? So, hey, we'll give you a gas voucher. We have the funds because of wonderful donations that are given to our shelter. And we also work hard for the grants, but the donations from this whole community makes a difference to help us, to help others to live a life of sustainability. I love what I do. I love what I do every day. I come to work and I feel like I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to try and make a difference and set the example for what we need to do to help others. Coming here today is an honor, and I want to thank you for having me here today.